What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Now today I want to talk that crispy, crunchy Faction Wars Hard Mode. Now at the time of me recording this, there's not much information on Faction Wars Hard Mode. I believe all that's been released is the What's Next in Raid video. We do know that there will be specific requirements to 3-star the stages. Maybe that's out by the time I post this. I can't imagine I post this more than a couple days after I record it. And shout out to Nub Raids for this video idea, by the way. He actually went through his account and showed off the teams he was planning on using on Faction Wars Hard Mode. And I was like, hey, I like that idea. I want to do that too. So today we're going to go through my account. I'm going to show you guys what my plans are for Faction Wars Hard Mode. Now keep in mind that this is from the perspective of my account, so you have completely different champions than me. This isn't necessarily me telling you how to build your Faction Wars Hards teams. It's just me going through my thought process of planning my teams. And if you like that, if it's entertaining, or if it helps you plan out your teams, awesome. There's probably going to be some slight variations that have to happen to my teams in order to 3-star all of the stages. But without that knowledge ahead of time, I'm going to give you guys my main 5 per faction. And then, as the challenges pop up, maybe 1 or 2 champions will get subbed out. Let's say I need to get 4 poisons on the boss and when I kill him. Well, I'll sub out 1 or 2 guys to, get those 4 poisons on the boss. But roughly the team is going to be extremely similar to what I tell you guys today. Unless it's like something insane, land 4 poisons, land a burn, land a decreased defense and a decreased attack, have increased attack on your champions, then I'll just rework my entire team and cry. Alright guys, so let's take a look at our little faction wars, alright? We're going over here, so I'm only going to be using 6 stars. I don't think any 5 stars make it in, so we could just go up here, and we could just sort by faction. So let's start with the good old-fashioned Banner Lords, alright? This is the only faction where I have a faction unity champ. So you bet your stinky booty I'm bringing Acelin the Stalwart, alright? I'm probably even using his aura, alright? I'm probably using his aura unless I bring in Manaya. That is an option as well. She is a lot better after her buff. That was quite a long time ago, actually. Her buff was a minute ago for sure. So right off the bat, what I'm thinking for this one, alright? And I think I've got a solid core 4. I think that 5th slot trips me up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure who to put in the 5th slot. And this is also disregarding that stupid advanced quest that makes you use a rare champion. So I think number 1, for sure, Acelin. Acelin's going in. Fantastic support. I'm not going to read the kit, but he's got some stun. Fantastic support. It's extremely hard for your team to die when this guy is on the team. And he just gets kind of insane when all of the faction ally stuff is maxed out, which it will be because it's Faction Wars. Number 2 on my list is good old-fashioned Taras. What's not to love? A1 decreased attack, turn meter boost can be tons of help if the boss hits hard. Turn meter boosts are always good in the A1 when everything else is on cooldown. Really great passives that keep him alive. He's HP based. This A2, basically nothing survives it. Maybe in Faction Wars Hard it will, because maybe they have like crazy 400, 500k HP, maybe. And then this A3 just goes absolutely ham, does more damage with the amount of buffs. Kind of like a Seer, but you don't lose the buffs, also increases the duration. And then, not to mention Acelin's doing tons of buffs, so that's just going to help Taras go crazy. I think after that, solid number 3 is going to be Mr. Stultus. Alright, first of all, he reflects... Wrong ability. He reflects some decent debuffs back. He reflects this stuff back, which is quite nice. But really what I like is I like this nuke. There is a conditional decreased speed. Not 100% sure if that'll place as well. There also is a decreased crit damage as well. Also conditional, but just a hard-hitting nuke, and he self-buffs himself, which is nice. And then I also love the 2-turn, or 2-time hitting, I should say. I love the double AoE stun. It's not a 100% chance to stun. It's only 65% chance, but it is a 2-time hitter, so 2 instances of 65, and then a turn meter decrease on the A1, so actually the opposite of Taras. But of course, it's a single target turn meter decrease, whereas Taras is a full team turn meter fill. But still, I mean, Stultus is fantastic champion, freaking fantastic. And then the 4th one that I'm completely solid about is Manaya. All right, Manaya, just fantastic support, and I've got her 6 stars, so she's got that brimstone, gonna help a ton with bosses. And then also, I think I like that Speed in All Battles aura. It might even honestly be more valuable than Acelin's aura. Acelin's aura is going to make us have more HP and be more defensive, which actually does help Stultus and Taras. So maybe we run that. Going to take a little bit of experimenting. But 19% speed's nothing to scoff at, so this could go in as well. And then, of course, heal reduction is quite nice, depending on if it's the boss that does the HP swap. But actually, HP swapping does ignore heal reductions. I guess it doesn't matter as much. I guess it's only really helpful for the waves. She does have a really nice heal though, as well as a block debuff and a conditional shield. So really, really freaking solid champion. I think I've made up my mind on my 5th pick, guys. I was thinking Black Knight just because he spams buffs. Buffs out the butt cheeks, dude. Increased defense, continuous heal. This helps Taras hit harder. This helps Stultus be able to open with his A2 instead of his A3 because he's already got increased defense from Black Knight. So that's nice, but Stag Knight, man. Stag Knight would decrease attack and decrease defense, as well as, you know, solid. This A1 actually kind of smacks a tad bit. Maybe not in Faction Wars hard because enemies are so damn tanky, but this actually does hit kind of hard. And the decreased speed is nice too. I don't know, man. It's kind of a toss-up between Stag Knight and Black Knight. Of course, they're both knights. That's funny. I'm leaning more towards Stag Knight. I think when it first comes out, I'll use Stag Knight. But maybe we take the Black Knight. He is 5-star. He does have the Brimstone. He does have enough actually to land it. So, it's debatable. He also has this AoE. This AoE actually hits an okay amount. The more HP he loses, the better. And then, of course, the passive. This guy just doesn't die. Black Knight just doesn't die. Not in the build that I have him in. And this gear is all super old. This gear is 2 or 3 years old already. You know, this is my 1st or 2nd legendary. Either him, I got him and War Mother on the same day during a 2x sacred, so I can't remember who was first. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's between these two, all right? So I gave you the solid 4. Can't quite pick between these two. Don't hate me. Probably gonna be other factions like that too, man. All right, guys. Next faction is our lovely High Elves. You can see we got a little special in here. All right, we got a little bit of a special champion on the screen. All right, not Black Knight. Black Knight, get off the screen. We've also got tons of 60s in this faction. I didn't realize how many 60s I had in this faction. Right away, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not 100% sure what kind of team I want to run with this. Because in Faction Wars, I'm going like, you know, full speed, kill him, you know what I mean? So, in fact, the current Faction Wars team I run right now is Arbiter, Galathir, Apothecary, so the rare's always in there, and then Supreme Elhaine, Deliana. To have like that double damage dealer combo, right? But that's not going to be the same team I run in Faction Wars hard, because I don't really want to run Apothecary or Rare for hard mode, really hoping that Advanced Quest goes away. So automatically he's kind of out. I think for sure, 100%, Arbiter and Galathir are both going in, just because they're geared so damn well. I mean, Galathir is just fantastic, right? I mean, insane control. Can swap forms, control them, you don't have to worry about getting sheeped, not a thing. I mean, hopefully Faction Wars hard mode, they don't have blessings. At least not the sheep blessing, please. That'd be so unfun. And then Arbiter is just insanely fast on everybody's account, so, you know, might as well use her, just so I can lap the ads. I think definitely Supreme Elhaine as well. She's probably the best damage dealer I have in this faction. May want to book her up, honestly, because she's just that good. I mean, there's not really... I don't want to say that good, because I don't use her in Live Arena, right? But there's no better options in High Elves. I like her so much. Put her in 9-piece Merciless. Is it the best Merciless? Hell no. Look at these gloves. These gloves are ass, alright? They're pretty damn ass. But it's doing the job, right? It's just Faction Wars Merciless, alright? You can see your stats down here. Nothing crazy. So definitely those three. Definitely those three. I think for number 4, I'm actually cool locking in Deliana. The reason is Deliana is not a crazy smacker in this build. This is actually a build where she actually clears a lot of stages in Curse City by herself. A lot of those HP specific stages, or, you know, forced High Elf stages, she can clear this by herself in the Bloodthirst. That's actually why she's in this build for Curse City. But it works in Faction Wars. She still smacks decently. We've got 100% crit rate. We've got a okay amount of HP. Nothing crazy, like 70k-ish. Nothing crazy. And then, you know, 160% crit damage. Nothing crazy either. But you know what? In HP damage dealer that's going to keep herself alive with the leech on her kit and the lifesteal effect, I mean, she's really freaking hard to kill, especially after you drop like an enemy or two and there's not really much DPS on the enemy side. She's pretty freaking solid, so I think I'm going to go her as my 4th pick. My 5th pick, I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'm not 100% sure. Neldor, I think no. Royal Guard, nah, I don't think so. I think I would go Royal Guard over Yannica, though, to be fair. But I don't think I really want to go either one of them, to be honest. Tatura, I feel like my cleansing or my block debuffs is kind of covered by Galathir, honestly, so I don't think I need Tatura. Reliquary Tender, again, Galathir's doing her job. She's fine. Prosecutor, no. I think, guys, it's Islin, honestly. I think I said I'd go Royal Guard over Yannica, but actually scratch that. I'd go Yannica over Royal Guard. I think our last slot is Islin. I think we're going to need more support than damage. If for some reason we just mop the freaking floor with Faction Wars, then I'll swap Islin for Yannicka just to have 3 DPSs. But if not, if we need the tankiness, I'm going Islin, guys. I'm going freaking Islin because Islin is just a nightmare to deal with. All right, he is so hard to freaking kill. Like he's when he first came out, he was like a substitute for Krisk in some Hydra teams. I mean, that's how freaking good this guy is. Right? He's not as good as Krisk, don't get me wrong, but you know, ally protection with a decreased speed. I mean, shit, man. Also with the provoke 2 on the A1, a mini Krisk is a good way of putting this. This guy's a freaking beast. So I think he's gonna be my 5th. I think we're going Galthier, Arbiter, Supreme Elhain, Deliana, and Islin. As far as the aura goes, I think we're going to take Deliana's aura just because Arbiter's is obviously arena. I think you guys know that. I don't think I need to explain that. And then I don't think we need the accuracy from Islin. If we need the accuracy, we'll throw it on. Maybe we actually do throw on the accuracy. How much accuracy does Deliana have? 329 or 360 actually after you add the starting accuracy? Okay, that actually might be enough to land debuffs. If it's not, then we'll swap to Islin. But we're going one of these two guys' auras, probably Deliana. So that's going to be my team for the High Elves. Of course, both my mythical factions back to back, guys. Well, you know, what do you expect, all right? Just how the cookie crumbles. Right here, we've got Sacred Order, and guys, I'm already locked in on 4 of them. I'm locked in on 4. Scratch that, I'm locked in on 5. I know every single champion I want. I know every single champion I want to use already because these guys are so damn good. Right away, I'm going Siegfried, alright? I'm going Siegfried. My Siegfried build, in my opinion, is pretty freaking good. It's a little slow, but, I mean, we're rocking over 400% crit damage, dude. Oh, no, we're not. No, I lied. 396. God damn it. Give me some area bonus this game. Make me look good. Sand Devil. No, wrong one. No. Hydra. No, I don't have crit damage in Hydra. Where do I have crit damage? Curse City. There we go. Curse City, 402% crit damage. I wasn't lying. We're rocking over 400%. Just kidding. Okay, we're not rocking over 400% crit damage. We're trying, though. We're getting damn close, man. If I could maybe max this Cascades out would be there, but I ain't in a rush, though. I think we're chilling. So I'm going Siegfried, guys. I don't think I need to explain things, but I'm going to explain things, all right? Siegfried. All right, this guy. Damage. More damage. More damage, all right? And then we swap forms. We've got damage support, and even more support. Alright, so that's basically Siegfried. The dude's nasty. If somehow he's the last one alive, we bring the entire team back to life. Which actually, you know, it does happen, especially with him in 9-piece Merciless. You get an extra turn at the right time, you go from having block damage to having your passive right back. And then all of a sudden, if your team gets wiped out, he's got block damage again, revives your guys. So it's not uncommon. Although, in Faction Wars, though, I'd imagine it's going to be pretty uncommon for him to be the last guy. And the next 2 champions, I'm still working on building them. By the time Faction Wars comes out, they'll be done. We're going Lady Noelle. We're going Sir Nick, alright? They're not booked yet, but they will be as soon as the next PR CVC comes around. Now, why these two? Well, Lady Noelle, arguably the best reviver in the game. She will revive my whole team, and when Sir Nick is on the team, has an irresistible freeze. So, I'm in a bad spot. She brings back the entire mother effing team and freezes the enemies. So, you know, honestly, she could bring them back with 0% turn meter, and they'll still get around to their turn because the enemies are frozen. So they have to get out of the freeze and then get an additional full turn meter to even take a turn. So, you know, I'm lapping them by the time they move. They're dead by the time they move. Alright, best freaking reviver in the game, arguably. Because it's on a 3-turn cooldown, right? It's on a 3-turn cooldown with a freeze. You can't beat that. With a 100% freeze, might I add. If you get hit with this in the arena, you usually lose. Then she has this A2. All I really care about here is when she uses it on Sir Nick activates his Unkillable. This means that you can literally keep the Unkillable buff on you 24/7, the entire goddamn fight, as long as they're both booked. And then the A1 is really, there's nothing that we care about here. Block buffs, cool. And a little turn meter decrease, alright? Cool. Not what we care about, but she's freaking fantastic. Alright, and then Sir Nick, obviously I want him with her to make her stuff irresistible, to make her better. And Sir Nick's not a bad guy, alright? Not a bad champion, alright? Again, we've got the Unkillable, so she'll force him to use it. It won't go on cooldown, and then a couple turns later, he'll use it, keep me unkillable for literally ever. And then we've got an okay hit right here. We're not going to be hurting for damage. We have Siegfried, but consider Sir Nick our second damage dealer. He is rocking 9-piece protection with a 99% crit rate, so hopefully it's 100% crit rate by the time the Faction Wars comes out, but I doubt it. We'll just have to cry 1% of the time, alright? And then an A1 that has a chance to freeze. Not bad. Cannot be resisted either. So there's 3 of my dudes, alright? 3 of my effing dudes. Number 4. Alright, first of all, we're taking his aura. We're taking Cardial's aura. Number 4 is Cardial, guys. Just fantastic cleanse with a revive on death, so even more revive. You know, because Lady Noelle and Siegfried in the off scenario were not enough, alright? Give me more revive with Cardial. Granted, this is a revive on death, but still, cleanse with a revive on death with block debuffs. Really nice. Got a really, really good ally attack right here. This passive does tons of healing because he joins in on attacks. And then the A1 is, you know, I guess kind of tied to this passive. The A1 comes in, gives you a little bit of healing. That's not a bad heal for an A1. That's a mini continuous heal every single time he joins in on an attack. And guys, actually, like, now that I've been sitting here looking at it, I was solid on my 5th slot. I really was. Now I'm not so sure. Because I'm like, you know what? We have so much healing. We have so much support. And we have so much damage. Like, we literally have everything we need. We got multiple revives, tons of damage, just because of Siegfried, basically. You know, what else do we need? And at first, I was kind of thinking Martyr. Martyr's really good. Full team counterattack. This is going to be nice with the increased defense. That's really nice, all right? With the decreased attack and the Provoke for some control. We don't have much control. I guess we do have the freezes, though. The freezes, to be fair, is a lot of control. So that's nice. As well as decreased defense in the A1. This will be nice for the bosses. So really, I mean, when I first looked at this, my heart was telling me Martyr, and I think my heart is still telling me Martyr. But I do want to mention 2 other champions that may be worthy of this spot as well. I'm thinking Martyr's our 5th pick, but Supreme Aethel, not bad. A freeze, 100% chance to freeze that ignores some buffs. She's got tons of buffs on herself. I probably would need a rebuilder because she's not built very well. And then attacks one enemy if their enemies under a freeze debuff also attacks them. So I think the reason I would pick her is only because I'm running the Christmas duo. She combos so well with them. Not only does she bring her freeze to support them, but they bring a freeze to support her. And honestly, that's going to make her A1 go crazy, dude. I mean, if Noelle freezes the whole team, this A1 all of a sudden becomes AoE. And it increases her attack and, you know, decreases their attack, which is not super important, but it's nice. So we may end up giving her a shot. Now that I'm actually reading the kit, I think she actually comes in over Martyr. For real, I think I would need to rebuild her. I think she's built pretty damn ass. I guess, well, actually, we're rocking over 200% crit damage. I guess that's not bad for Faction Wars. I don't know, man. She probably would need to rebuild, right? She probably would need a rebuild. Can I pull off another 9-piece Merciless and a Sacred Order? Holy shit, I can. It would be pretty ass. It would be a pretty ass build, but I could put it together. But if not Supreme Aethel, Alice the Wanderer. One of the reasons I'd go Alice the Wanderer is she's one of my best build champions in this faction. You could see the build. Not too shabby. Good bit of accuracy. Good bit of crit damage. Good bit of attack. Not insane. And then, like, nothing here is insane. The speed, I'm really proud of the speed. 247 is pretty solid. When you compare that to Siegfried, who's my best damage dealer, not my fastest damage dealer, he's 250. I think my Sun Wukong is my fastest damage dealer, somewhere in the 260s or high 250s. So Alice is up there. So first of all, she's super well built in my count. That's one of the reasons. As well as we do lack control on this team. We have a little bit of control with Noelle and Nick, but nothing crazy. So it would be nice to have her lockout. So if somehow, God forbid, somebody does get a turn, they're locked out. All right. Basically, all I'd be bringing her for is to smack with this lockout, smack with the A2, smack the A1. Right. Damage, lockout. It's kind of, I think Martyr, honestly. Martyr, I'd only bring in if this Faction Wars was a pain in the ass. Like, I'm talking we needed tons of tankiness, tons of survivability, tons of cheesiness to keep us alive. I'd go Martyr. But if we don't end up needing all that stuff and we're just blowing these waves down, I think I'm either going to go Alice or Supreme Aethel. Supreme Aethel, again, combos with those two really well. But Alice is going to hit harder and lock them out, so even if they get a turn, they're just A1ing. So I think it's Alice, but honestly, I'd be curious just to try all 3 because I think it'd be fun. So I feel like I'm doing the same thing every time, guys. I'm giving you like a core 4, and then I'm letting you guys know about like the last champion I'm not sure about. So this might end up being a trend, man. Okay, Barbarians. Okay, guys, this one I think I'm locked in. I think I've got no doubt in my tiny little heart. All right, I'm locked in on this one. I'm locked in. All right, have no fear. I know what I want. First of all, I'm going Scylla the Drakes, guys. Scylla the Drake's still a solid champion. She's in the same gear. She's been in the exact same gear the entire duration I've had her. She's never changed gear. These are 5-star speed boots, ladies and gentlemen. God damn it, they do good enough. Why am I bringing stun? First of all, the passive, amazing healing. Really, really good healer. We do have Brimstone, which will land for some extra damage. Nothing crazy, though. Not like super needed to mention that, but we've also got Revive. She will be our only Reviver that I'm bringing. I don't want to go with DJ Marsa. Screw this lady. She's not bad, but I'll take Syl any day. We've also got a good chance to stun, so I like that. Not an insane chance to stun, but yeah, the stuns can land it. If the stun lands on 2 or 3 enemies, I'm happy. And then A1 with decreased speed, a little bit of turn meter decreasing. Cool. So nothing crazy, but just a reliable healer reviver with a little bit of control. I like that. Alright, so she's number 1 on the team. Number 2 on the team. Number 2 is Freya. Alright, Freya, provoke A1 that does a good bit of damage. Probably going to be our aura lead with the defense. Has a turn meter boost with the clans and a block debuffs. And finally has a really good shield and increased defense. So just going to make my team a lot harder to kill. So hopefully we don't even have to use Syl's revive. But if we do, it is what it is. But hopefully Freya stops us from having to even use the revive. After that, I'm going double Armands. Alright, do I need to explain myself? Alright, if I get 2 Armands in there, the enemy is never taking a turn unless a freaking Kaolite or whatever his name is in the Faction Wars hard waves. Alright, if I run 2 Armands, ain't nobody taking a turn. And if the boss is able to have its turn meter stolen, which some of the Faction Wars bosses are, maybe not stolen, but decreased, the boss ain't taking a turn either. So hopefully this is a boss that is immune to turn meter decreasing effect, because if not, that boy ain't ever moving. Alright, so far Syl, Freya, and 2 Armands. We've got 1 slot left. Can you guess who it is? You might be able to guess who it is. It's Thor, guys. Just one, probably the hardest hitting barbarian on my account, alright? The build's not crazy. You know, here's the build. It's really not crazy, but even this smacks, man. It freaking smacks. He's gonna do the job. He's gonna wipe the waves. Even if he doesn't wipe the waves, Armands will stall plenty long enough for him to get back to his skills, as well as actually, he's the 3rd Armands, because he has his own stun that's gonna activate every 10 hits. So, you know what? I'm going triple Armands, baby. Thor is Armands number 3. He's not as good at keeping people controlled, but he's much more handsome. So Thor is going to be our 5th pick. Jetney and Alsgore, actually kind of sad that they don't make my Faction Wars hard team. This duo needs a buff. They're really bad. They're not even good in Tag Team Arena. Even Siege, if I bring them out in Siege, it's usually for fun or because Alsgore himself is a good champion. And I just figure bring Jetney for the content, right? I do use them in Siege sometimes, but it's mostly for the content or because I'm already bringing Alsgore. Might as well bring his partner champion to make him stronger. Because Alsgore is actually a good freaking champion. Arguably, you could swap Alsgore for Freya, but I think I'm going with Freya. Freya will also save Thor if something goes wrong with her passive, so that's nice. Alsgore, though, with the block damage and all the stuff that he does. Also, he's in bolster, so that's nice, too. But I'm kind of sad that they don't make it. But at least I was able to give you guys a concrete 5 this one, alright? No, maybe this champion, maybe that champion. No, guys. A solid 5. Of course, double Armands is on my team, so you gotta have something cheesy, right? If I'm building the team, there's gotta be something cheesy. Holy shit, guys, I just realized I'm into a 30-minute recording and we're only 4 factions deep. Oh my god. We might have to make this video into 2 parts, guys. We might have to make this video into 2 parts. I don't think my my tiny little brain can record this all in one session, dude. It's gonna be an hour. We're 30 minutes deep, guys, and I've only recorded 4 factions. Hopefully I've edited it to a lot less than that. Alright, guys. Ogryn frickin' Tribes. Ogryn frickin' Tribes. Why is Jetney still on the screen? Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, this is our perfect guy right here. Number 1 on the team, Blizzar the Howler. Why Blizzar? Simply because he's phenomenal. He's a really freaking good champion. He's in my Fire Knight Hard 10 team. Not that that really matters for Faction Wars. But 3-star with a Brimstone with enough accuracy to land it. Always a nice bonus. This passive actually revives him twice. He revives himself and then puts a revive on death on him. So if they kill him again, he revives again. I think that this was designed improperly. I think it was supposed to be like Godseeker and Nir's revive, where he brings, you know, himself back to life. But he does it twice in a row. He comes back to life, then puts a revive on death himself, and comes back to life again if he dies. So it's actually a double revive. I think it was designed wrong. No lie, but I think they just didn't change it because they didn't want to get outraged for people going after the fusion. Like, oh, you nerfed our champion. We haven't even got him yet. It does say, though, whenever this champion is killed, revives them with 30% HP and 30% turn meter and places a revive on death buff on them for 1 turn. But I still think it's designed wrong. I think it's supposed to place revive on death on top of him before he dies, like a preemptive revive on death. I don't know though, I'm not the coder, maybe this is intentional, but... Alright, but why is he here? Well, what combos really well with this passive, and the reason he might actually die, because he's an ally protector, right? Increased defense, ally protection. So, he might die from protecting the team, but he'll come back to life. So he's chilling. Hopefully he's chilling. Hopefully he doesn't die again. Well, if he dies again, he's still good. Hopefully he doesn't die 3 times in a row. Then he's really dead. Also, this cleanses all of these freaking debuffs. I actually didn't know that. Hold up. Why are we all not using Blizzard, high resistance Blizzard in the arena? Removes any stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, and petrification debuffs from all allies? That's like a freaking cleanse of like all the CC debuffs in the game. Holy shit, that's actually kind of nasty. And with a CC of his own, damn, why did this never get used in arena? This is like a decent arena skill. If you built him fast and high res, I mean, you could escape. I guess you couldn't escape Armans because he still takes your turn meter, actually, to be fair. But like Odin, like if Odin did this to you and he was in high resistance, he could clean that stun right off you and protect your team to make up for that decreased defense. So yeah, wow, this is actually a good counter to Odin. I guess people just don't use Blizzard in arena, but to me, this is actually a good counter for Odin. He's hard to kill. Odin stuns you, he cleanses it, puts increased defense on your team to counter that decreased defense, and puts ally protection. So your defense kind of goes back to normal, evens out, but you also have ally protection. That's actually kind of nice. I'm rambling again, goddammit. A1 triple hitter with a 50% chance to freeze, quite nice. You're going to land a lot of freezes on ads when you're using this, so pretty nice. And then the full freeze with a turn meter decrease, alright? So basically, control and team protection is what this guy does. He's amazing for it. Number 2 on the team. Solid number 2. Undebatable is Stock the Broken. I don't have him booked. He doesn't even need to be booked, alright? All I gotta say is, fantastic poisoner, solid healer, and great aura, alright? I don't need to waste no more time. He does tons of damage with his poisons. He has a good bit of healing, and that 20% speed in all battles aura is insane. Number 3 on the team is Bellatar Mage Slayer. Why is he on the team? Well, he brings healing, increased attack, increased defense. This will benefit most damage dealers. So you got to heal with the buffs. You've got a revive, a solid revive on a 4-turn cooldown with a little shield to try and keep him alive. You've got an A1 that has a little bit of cooldown reduction. And then you have a passive with some cooldown reduction when people are revived. And that's for all allies. So basically, he's just our reviver. He's just our support reviver, right? Your standard support reviver. That's the role that he's fulfilling. Alright guys, now we need some freaking damage on this team. How are we gonna get it? I'm going Ugir the Worm Eater. Now, how many sets do I want in this guy? All of them, dude. I want every single set. The reason he's going in the team, first of all, he's built in my Narcissus old gear, so he is built to do damage. He doesn't hit insanely hard, his multipliers are quite bad, but he does decent damage. It's decent. It's nothing amazing, it's decent. Probably less damage than like the starter champions do, like your Kale and your Gaelic and all that, but still, the damage is okay. Not booked as well, but he's got an AoE weaken with a buff strip. He's got buffs for your team. He has a chance of stealing buffs. And then on his passive, when people revive, he comes back in with this A2 and smacks them again. So I really like that. Not insane damage, but not bad. And then for our final slot, the final slot is kind of a little debatable. It's a little debatable. You know me, right? It's been how it's been for every faction, except for barbarians. I'm thinking either Urgrim to kind of double up on the poisons and healing to help stock, right? Urgrim kind of just a mini stock, right? Gonna do more healing than stock, but gonna do a lot less poisons than him. But still, I mean, double poisoners, right? Double poisoners could be good just because at that point you're relying on your damage to come from poisons. So we're going to be running more of like a support, stay alive, poison them to death style team with Ugir in there as like, you know, a little bit of actual damage itself, but nothing crazy. Or if we want to shy away from going a poison team, we could go Ugo and then get that decreased defense and block buffs. That way Ugir can smack harder. But I'm actually leaning more towards going with the double poison. I think double poison is going to be the way to go, especially because we don't have a phenomenal damage dealer in this faction. We do have Bigun. Bigun's not that good in my opinion. I would rather have Ugir. No lie. I think Bigun hits harder than Ugir, but it's probably my gear is probably the issue on him. Like, what are these? These are probably crit rate gloves. Yeah, this gear is so old, dude. This gear is so old. So probably the gear is the issue and the reason he's not hitting hard. Yeah, it looks like it definitely less than 200% crit damage. Wow. But I just rather have Ugir. You know what I mean? Rather have this guy. So I think we're gonna lock in Urgrim as our last pick and just go heavy with that poison team with a little bit of damage from Ugir, but nothing crazy. This is my problem child, my problem faction. All right, there ain't a lot here. Okay, there ain't a lot here, boys. A lot of these guys are still being worked on. We're going to count 6 stars, so Dracomorph and Ramontu are in the question. They're not finished being built yet, but hopefully they are when Faction Wars Hard Mode comes around. Let's just start with number 1, though. Number 1, no freaking doubt, Pythion. Basically the same as Galathir on his Form 1 as far as like the role he's fulfilling. Cleanser and Reviver. That's literally it. Alright, that's all I gotta say. You know, you've got healing on the A1, healing and cleansing on the A2, revive on the A3, and a damage reduction passive on, I guess, on the passive. With a res in all battles, so that's nice. Could be our aura, but definitely our number 1 is this guy. Number 2, I think, is Venomage, because I don't have really any DPS in this freaking faction. So I think we go Venomage purely to get DPS through these poisons. She does bring other usable stuff, but I'm only mentioning the poisons because that's all she's really going to be here for, is to put out that poison, that heal reduction. So she's number 2. Number 3, I think I'd like to go Skull-Lord Vargal when he's finished. I think I would. He's kind of like a mini faction unity champion. He has, I believe, a revive a Lizardman every 3 turns. Yeah, start of the champion's turn, revives a random ally from the Lizardman faction. This will be nice when Pythion's revive is off cooldown. Quite nice. He's got the passive that destroys enemies' max HP. Can also fear them with a CC when they attack us, so that's quite nice. He's got an AoE decreased attack, not bad. Cannot be resisted if there's one ally Lizardman on the team. That's consistent throughout all of his kits, so we'll need no accuracy in his kit, which is nice because of him being with other Lizardmen. Got a single target provoke, and a heal reduction again, so we're doubling up on the heal reduction. That's fine. Also defensive base, so I think I like that. Number 4, when he's finished, is Ramontu, guys. Ramontu. We severely lack damage in this faction. I'm going to go Ramontu. Ramontu does a good schmidgety-widgety bit of damage. Nothing crazy, but probably going to be my best damage dealer I have for Lizardman Faction Wars. Yeah, just straight up in here for the damage. Brings tons of debuffs on a single target, so we'll absolutely destroy bosses. Kind of like a Riho Bone Spear. And then an AoE block active, block passive. The block active is for enemies without passive skills. Block passive is for enemies with passive skills. But still, regardless, AoE with some sort of, you know, block something skills. So we like it. So yeah, Ramontu definitely going in there. Also, I do like his 80 accuracy in all battles aura. We could run that. And then number 5, guys, the last pick, Dracomorph. You can see, but all these guys need to be booked, man. Freaking all these freaking guys need to be booked. So this faction is in the most rough shape, the most unprepared. I'll probably just go, you know, my epics for now while I'm waiting to finish all these guys. Keep in mind, I do have Lydia, so I did beat Faction Wars with these guys. But yeah, our last guy is Dracomorph. Why? Decreased defense and weaken. Gonna help me hit a lot harder with my Ramontu, or just everybody. Literally gonna help me hit harder with everybody. This will be essential because we lack damage. And then the A2, a solid poisoning skill. Really gonna tear apart bosses, and it will be okay against the waves, so not bad. And then an A1 that is just kind of a normal A1, whatever. It does have like a similar effect to like Wukong or Siegfried's skills where there's surplus damage, but I don't believe this A1's crazy. I think it was crazy back in the day, but it got nerfed, so you know what? Damage dealer debuffer is the role Dracomorph fills. Not bad. But alright, okay. Number 1, the first pick in this faction, the most undeniable pick on my entire set of champions right here. I guess is a good way of putting it. Probably the most important pick out of all these champions. Gonna be Mighty Uko. Now why? Why him over Marius? Alright, as my first pick. Obviously, I'm gonna pick both. I'm gonna pick both, straight up. I'm gonna pick both. But Mighty Uko, just a fantastic reviver. Probably, there's not really a lot of revivers in this faction. Alright, I mean, there's some epic revivers. I don't have one of them built. So, you always gotta start with a reviver if you can. And Mighty Uko also has the speed in all battles aura. So that's pretty freaking nice too. 20% speed in all battles, pretty damn nice. She's literally coming in here as decreased attack for the waves. Gonna help us stay alive. A little bit of buff strippage. If we do strip all of their buffs, then she'll land her debuffs, block buffs, and decreased accuracy, I mean. Not too shabby. As well as a revive where she puts block damage on the entire team. Except for people that were already alive, then they'll just get increased speed. She also can just give you an AoE increased speed if nobody's dead. I hate it when she does that. She actually does use this on auto as just a speed boost, which kind of sucks. But it's, you know, it is what it is. It's our only revive. It's my only option for reviver. I'm going with it. And she'll do the job. She does the job. Promise you. I actually have 2 Ukos. One's in the vault. So the first time I beat Faction Wars, I actually used 2 of her. So I used double Uko. So that was pretty nice. This one wasn't booked, so I had the Relentless set to compensate for that. So pretty cool. But after Uko, our number 2 pick, Marius. Increased defense, increased accuracy with a stun. This makes my entire team tankier and makes it easier for my entire team to land debuffs. But also enables him to do tons of damage and get off with his buff strip. This is going to wipe waves and smack so goddamn hard. So yes, we're going with Marius. Alright, A1 with the Enfeebled too is nice for the waves as well. Defensive base too, so he's quite tanky. Wukong is our number 3 pick, guys. Wukong, the way I have him built, 9-piece Merciless, this A2 just deletes like 90% of content in the game. It's fucking crazy, dude. This monkey is insane, and he's squishy, he dies, who gives a shit, his passive brings him back to life. So, you killed me, you can suck my monkey nuts. So yeah, really, really freaking nice. And the Soul Reap is quite good at 4 stars, you know what I mean? Soul Reap at 4 stars isn't too shabby at finishing off the boss. We also have Block Bust, but Ugo is giving that anyway. Or Uko. Our name's so damn similar. But not too shabby. Number 4 on the list is Steel Skull, guys. An oldie but a goodie. Literally, only reason I'm bringing him, support and healing, alright? Support and healing, that's it. He also has Poison in the A1. You know, okay, worth mentioning. Alright, my fault. Worth mentioning that. He has Poison in the A1. Not too shabby. Also, this A2, I'll probably be manualing this stuff when it first comes out. I'll use this A2 on Uko to keep Uko alive. That way she can get off her revive. And then this, you know, increased defense on all allies. Heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. So with him and Marius, we're always going to have increased defense up. Quite nice. Guys, my last pick, I'm going to say it. I'm not 100% certain, but I'll tell you guys what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we go Gnarlhorn. Gnarlhorn, just a wave destroyer, 3-turn cooldown, full provoke, like full 100%. Long you have enough accuracy, I guess it can be resisted, but as long as you have enough accuracy, or I should say it can be 3% resisted. But other than that, you're provoking the entire enemy wave, so pretty nice. And then after that, you just got to survive for 1 turn and get back to this unkillable. So usually if you're fast enough, if you can lap the enemy, you'll get back to this unkillable. You'll put unkillable on yourself. They smack you, you stay alive because of unkillable. He's also in the frost set too, so they smack him and they get frozen, which is nice as well. So I think Gnarlhorn's my option. The other guy I was considering was Nishak. Gonna be really nice for waves and really nice to get poison in the boss. The only thing is though, we might have waves kind of covered with Marius and Wukong already. I guess that would invalidate the reason to bring Gnarlhorn as well, to be fair actually, because Gnarlhorn is going to be there for the waves. But he's going to be able to stay alive a lot better on his own than Nishak just because of the way I have him built. But, you know, it's debatable. It is debatable. We'll see when it comes out. But it's between Nishak and Gnarlhorn. I'm leaning like 90% Gnarlhorn, maybe 10% Nishak. So I think he's actually our first rare that legitimately makes the team today. Pretty cool. Gwendolyn's an option as well, but I don't know. That'd be for bosses. You know, at that point, if I'm bringing Gwendolyn for bosses, why not just bring Nishak to help with waves and bosses? So I don't know. I really am locked in with Gnarlhorn, I think. And alright, guys, the last faction of the video, because this is going to be like, this is literally, I mean, I've done an hour of recording. My mouth is so dry. I'm drinking like so many things of water. I'm dying over here, guys. I can't go much longer, boys. We're going to have to split this into a 2-parter, alright? A 2-parter. It's going to be a good grip of editing, too. Jeez. All my lips smacking. I'm going to have to edit all that out. Alright, so number 1, right the freaking way, is Bells. Bells the Reckoner. Why? Good debuffs, good damage, and a good build on my account. 9-piece Merciless. Not making it into the arena with that, but, hey, you know, I use them in Hydra, so, hey, leave me alone. I use them in Hydra, goddammit. Don't make fun of the build, please. 60 accuracy in all battles. Not too shabby. Not a bad aura. Might end up being what we go with. A1, you know, decreased defense. Not bad. And then you got the A2 that repeats the attack on enemies with Leech. So, you know, steals all buffs from a target, then repeats the attack if we land a Leech. So we always open with this A3. Hopefully we land a Leech, and then we go with the A2. So this is quite nice. AoE block buffs and a Leech, also with a little turn meter fill for him. So that's pretty cool to help him get around to this A2. And then we've got, you know, a little bit of a damage stacking passive on him. So just a really good damage dealer, and he stays alive because he's HP based. And actually, I mean, good debuffs too. Let me say that again. Really good damage dealer with solid debuffs, and he's tanky because he's HP based, so he's easy to keep alive. I mean, what more could you want with a champion? So he's first on the list. Number 2, guys. Number 2, no joke, is going to be Khanh Breastbreaker. All right. The reason I'm going with Khanh Breastbreaker is because he's defensive based. He's a damage dealer, so he's going to be easy to keep alive. Very similar, actually, to Bells the Reckoner, just defense instead of HP. But he's a defensive damage dealer, easy to keep alive. He's also got counterattack on himself. The reason the counterattack is good, also strengthen his shield, but, you know, counterattack is the important thing. The reason counterattack is good is because if he smacks them with the A1 and kills them, they stay dead. That's pretty damn nice. Alright, sometimes in those faction war stages, they can be pretty revive heavy. Some of those bosses are revive heavy, so if this ends up being a revive heavy boss, I'm block reviving your minions, and you're staying by yourself, buddy. Also has a passive that kind of helps him out, gives him increased defense, and, you know, removes debuffs from him, so hopefully if he's stunned, he can get out of that. And then you've got, you know, a solid AoE here that does a little bit of smacking, so it's nice. Another damage dealer, so far we're starting off with 2 damage dealers, not too shabby. Number 3, guys. Number 3 probably needs to get rebuilt because his gear's old as hell. Old Hermit Yorg, what do I have to say? HP burn on the A1. Increased attack with a turn meter boost on the A2. And a revive on the A3. The revive is the key thing here. Increased attack is nice. Not going to benefit my damage dealers, but yeah, the turn meter boost. Hey, man, we'll take the turn meter boost, alright? I can't argue with the turn meter boost. And then, you know, revive. Revive is good. Revive is very, very nice. It does 2 allies as well, so, you know, good amount of HP, not a crazy amount of turn meter, but the HP is good. But they also get perfect veil, so they're harder to be targeted. Or I guess you can't target them unless it's an AoE skill, then of course it'll smack them. But probably does need to be re-geared, because look at this shit. Ooh, God. Ooh, God damn. Ooh, dude. On a speed set, I'm rocking triple HP. What the hell was I thinking? You know what? Back in the day, this got me through Faction Wars. Nowadays, my boy needs a re-gear. The boots are probably the only half-decent thing here. Oh, the chest isn't bad. Hey, the chest isn't bad, alright? Cut me some slack. The gloves? No speed in the gloves. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. How do we even have 200 speed on this guy? Or 210? Jesus Christ. Yeah, this guy needs a freaking rebuild for sure. Maybe he gets the job done in this build. I don't know. This is actually gear that would get cleansed right off my account nowadays. Most of these, I'd say 4 out of these 6 pieces would instantly get sold. You can see we never even upgraded his accessories, but, you know, if I could rebuild him, I might have to rebuild him. He needs a little bit of love. He has only 70k HP, so nothing crazy. But he's number 3 on my Faction Wars team. Number 4, guys. Number 4, Papa needs some control. Who better to control the enemies than Iron Brago? First of all, a passive that makes my entire team have more defense. Gonna combo really well with the Breastbreaker over here, so that's quite nice. Straight up gonna give him more damage just through his passive alone. We've got an AoE provoke and decrease attack. Not booked, so it's only gonna be a 50% chance. I don't care, 50%, that's enough. I'm cool with that. You know, I don't need a 100% provoke. I would love 100% provoke, but this will do the job. And then we've got a stun with an increased defense. It's actually a 2-turn stun. Only on one enemy, but you know what? We could pick the most dangerous guy and stun them for 2 turns. Pretty nice. Not booked either, but yeah, that's not the point, alright? And then, you know, a solid A1. A1's nothing crazy. It's kind of actually a mediocre A1. Back in the day, I'm sure this is okay. But yeah, just, I mean, decent control. Increased defense. Much appreciated. Khanh, he's Khan's best friend. Khanh and Iron Brago, they hang out in real life. They're buddies because it's a one-side relationship. Khanh really loves what Brago does for him. So Iron Brago not only bringing control, but enabling my Khanh. Guys, look at this gear. Oh my god, these gloves don't even have speed. Holy shit, dude. I built this guy so long ago. I'm like looking at this gear. I'm like, this is so bad. Helmet's mediocre. That's not terrible. Oh god, dude, this gear is so bad. That's actually not terrible. Those gloves are atrocious though. Holy shit. Okay. Last on the motherfucking list, guys. Last on the list. Last of the video, alright? Because I gotta make this into a part 2. Part 2 should be shorter. There's less factions, goddammit. Is Tila Gourmet. Now, why Tila? First of all, part of it is the build. She's in a bolster set, meaning for the first 3 turns we take where you have a protected shield, it's going to be quite nice. Alright, we're probably only going to get 1 turn where it actually protects us, because you're usually a lot faster than the enemies in Faction Wars. But you know what, for 1 turn we'll be able to take any hit in the world because we got a nice shield. Also, actually, shields combo really well with Khan's AoE. So maybe we could just wipe out that first wave really easily because we have a nice shield. So I actually didn't even think about that. So with Brago's passive and Tila's bolster set, and maybe Brago's increased defense, I think he's actually slower, so we won't get that. But with all that combined, we might just one-shot the first wave, so that's quite nice. But not only is it just her build with the bolster set that we're bringing her, it is the entire kit. The entire kit's good. A1 has a chance of stealing a buff, not bad. And then also has a chance to steal another buff, not too shabby. HP burn with a continuous heal, not bad at all if I say so myself. Not as good of a burner as Artak, but still placing burns and putting heals on me. I'm not going to say no to that. I like that. She's like, enemies, I'm doing damage to you, and I'm healing my boys. So I like that. And then we've got a Leech with the Hex. Alright, Leech combos really well with our Bells. Meaning if somehow these fall out of sync, right, the A2 and the A3, she can do the Leech for us. Quite nice. And then the Hex as well. The Hex combos really well with everybody because, you know, you could land Hex on someone and they're going to spread damage to the other allies that have Hex. So that's pretty cool. Hex is literally just going to make us do more damage. Pretty freaking simple, man. On a 5-turn cooldown, 4 if I were to book it. I'm not going to book it because it's just Faction Wars. But, I mean, it's doing everything we needed to do, right? She combos well with Khan, and she combos really well with Bells. So I love it. A lot of synergy. It feels like there's a lot of freaking synergy between our orcs. So she's who I'm going with, man. She's who I'm going with. Love this girl. She is really slow, all right? She's freaking slow. I know. Literally the 130 speed. Holy shit. Less than 130. Goddamn. I don't know why I did that back in the day, but it got me through Faction Wars, all right? That's all that matters. I'm assuming, yes, these are HP % boots. Okay, yes. Alright guys, well, Tila gets the honor of being our last champion in this video. Guys, I'm going to freaking bed. I'm tired, man. I almost fell asleep on the mic, man. I'm freaking, woo! It's been a week, guys. It's been a freaking week at the time of me recording this one, man. I'm probably going to record part 2 tomorrow. So, you know what? These videos shouldn't be more than a couple days apart. Part 2 should be coming out, you know, a day or two after this one comes out, I'd imagine. I know I have some busy times coming up, so but hopefully I can get this edited before that hits. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then, you know, come back for part 2. Definitely let me know what your guys' teams are down below. I'd love if you have a really cool team for a faction. Let me know. Maybe your Demon Spawn faction is just absolutely loaded. Tell me about it. Tell me about your Volcanoes and your Carnage and your Commodus. I might cry a little bit, but, you know, congrats for you. But yeah, tell me about some of the teams that you're planning on running. Again, certain champions are going to get subbed out as I need to hit requirements for some of the missions. But I think these teams are pretty damn solid. I think Lizardman is definitely our weakest, unfortunately. Even now, and even in normal mode Faction Wars, Lizardman is the one that takes me the longest to run because I just don't have damage dealers in it. So I need to get around to getting Dracomorph and Ramontu through the Minotaur. But even then, they're not really mainly damage dealers, so they're going to speed things up, but it's still nowhere near as good as having a normal damage dealer. That's going to be it, guys. My railmate's gone on long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Join me for part 2. Or you're fired. Grounded. Whatever.